Good morning, Flosstube. I am Tamara. I am PD Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram. And this is my channel about cross stitch. Today is Sunday, October 16th. Sorry, I had to think about the date. And it's a little later in the morning than normal, but than I normally record. Usually I'm recording at like 6 or 6:30. It's closer to 8 probably. But here I am. It's been 2 weeks, so if you are new, welcome. I hope you stick around, see if there's anything you like. If there is, hit the subscribe button, comment. I love to get to know my new stitchy friends through Flosstube. If you are returning, welcome back. Again, I love making friends here on Flosstube because I don't have any in real life stitchy friends. So this is where I can make friends to talk about stitching and people who are interested in what I do. Not that the people around me aren't. Yesterday I was at a soccer game for my daughter, and I was cross stitching while she was doing warm-ups, and I had somebody come over and say, "Oh, is that crochet?" Yeah, no. But, he was interested. He wanted to know how long it took me, and I was like, well, if I worked on just one project by itself and just kept working on that one, it wouldn't take me as long, but I work on several different ones, so it takes me a lot longer, so it's hard to say how long a project takes. And then I had another lady tell me yesterday while I was stitching at the soccer game that I must be very patient. I was like, no, it actually just helps me keep from yelling at the referees, the players. It keeps me calmer so I can focus on stitching and watch the game and not act like a crazy person. So what do we have? I do not have any finishes. It's been 2 weeks. I have no finishes. I have 3 whips, very, very little haul, no new starts, some plans, and then some life. Not a lot of life, but some life. So let's look at these whips. So the first one is Christmas 2, and I'm going to put a picture here. Of what it's supposed to look like. It is artwork by Ciro Marchetti, and it was charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, or HAED. If you are new to cross stitch or new to the Flosstube world, WIP is work in progress. We do use a lot of acronyms. HAED is Heaven and Earth Designs, and they chart large, full coverage pieces. This is my oldest whip. I think I started it in 2018. It is a beast. And since then I've now started several other large full coverage projects. So apparently I am a glutton for punishment. Y'all, I got a new ring light, and I'm sorry if you see the reflection in my glasses. If you have a suggestion for how to keep that from happening, other than not wear my glasses, let me know. If I don't wear my glasses, I can't see, so that's not an option. So Christmas 2, this is where it was before. And here's where it is now, and I finished a page. I got this whole page done. All the way down to, I believe these are poinsettias. This is the start of the snow globe over here. And I switched over to Royal Rose, and it's working so much better for me. So I'm debating. I'm going to go back up to the top, because what I've been doing is working in, and yes, I know there's marks on my fabric. I'm going to plan to stitch over them. I would wash it off, but then it would wash off my the grid. I can't stitch that way. So this is on 25 count easy grid, and I'm doing it 10th stitch 2/1. So anyways, as I was saying, I've been doing like a diagonal page, and so the plan is to go back up to whatever one's up here. Should I go across the top and finish across the top, or continue to do the diagonals? My issue is when I go back up there, all of these are going to be, they're going to have to be caught up in the, all of the hanging threads are going to have to be caught up in the excess fabric, and I'll have to make sure I don't catch them in the Q-snaps. So thoughts, suggestions, advice, I'm open. For the second week, or the second video, I am filming in Buster's room. Buster is watching the neighborhood go by out the window on his bed, which used to be my son's bed, but Buster's now taken it over now that my son has moved out into his own place and got his own bed in his place. So this is now the guest room, but really it's Buster's room and my office. And my craft, I don't craft in here, I don't stitch in here, all I do in this room is office-y stuff. But I keep my supplies in here so that they're not, well, I keep some of them so they're not all over the house. The goal is to put a shelving unit back here so that I can keep more stuff there. I don't know when that'll happen. We'll see. So that was whip number 1. Whip number 2 is Ethan Elephant, and this is one of the Brooks Books Advent Animals. Here is where he was before. And here is where he is now. And when you look at the comparison of the two, I've done a lot. I filled in most of the elephant, added the gift package. I have a little bit more of his hand and feet, and then all the back stitch, and then he will be done. And I'm doing all of these on this piece of fabric, but I'm going to be finishing them all separately. I'm also not doing the borders or the numbers because I'm not going to use these as an advent calendar. I think I'm going to use them as just ornaments. So this is number 21. There are 25 because it's an advent calendar. So I only have a few more to go. I might finish all of these by the end of the year. This is on 32 count Picture This Plus sterling. I'm trying to get better about remembering to say what the fabric is. And then, like I said, I only have one more whip. I only had 3 whips, but I got a lot of progress on the ones I've done, so I'm not going to complain. And I'm sorry for the crinkle crinkle. I forgot to pull this out of the bag before. The last whip I had to work on was Pretty Little San Francisco by Satsuma Street. And I started this after my one of my daughters and I went to California for a National Junior Olympic track meet for her, and while we were in Sacramento, she had an off day between events, and so we headed over to San Francisco, did some sightseeing. I also grew up, well, I didn't grow up in California. I was born in California, lived there till I was 8, and I have memories of going to San Francisco with my parents before we moved to South Carolina. So that's why I'm doing this one. Here's where it was before. Here is where it is now. And y'all, I only have this little bit. I've been trying to color complete to finish, and so a lot of this is the same color. So hopefully it'll get done quickly. And then I have a little bit, I've done some backstitch. I did this right here and this flagpole, but that's the only backstitch I've done. So I have some other backstitching to do. But then this should also be done this month, which is great because for my 2 Whip Go calls for October, it was finish Pretty Little San Francisco and finish Advent Animals. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Now we're halfway through the month and I still have 4 Advent Animals plus the rest of this elephant to do. So I may not finish them in October, but they will be done by the end of the year. That's it for whips, y'all. This is going to be a short but sweet Flosstube today because I don't have a lot. I have a lot of progress, just not a lot of different whips, but that's okay because progress is progress. So that takes us to plans. going to finish Pretty Little San Francisco. I'm going to finish The Elephant. I'm going to try to continue to work on the Advent Animals. I also want to put in some more work on Christmas too. And then I have a few others. I am doing Whip Off with Laura from the Slovak farm and Angie from Craft Cave Dwellings. I picked 8 projects that I wanted to see finished, or at least a good bit of progress on between now and the end of the year. Advent Animals was one. Pretty Little San Francisco was one. I have several others. Christmas 2 is one. I know I'm not going to finish it, but I want to see significant progress. I have 5 others that I want to finish, and several of them are close to a finish. So I'm going to pick one of those. If I finish Pretty Little San Francisco, or when I finish, because I will finish, I'm going to put one of those in its place and alternate between that and the Advent Animals to get some more things closer to a finish by the end of the year. I have to alternate them because if I just focus on one thing, I will get bored of it and it will kill my stitchy desire completely. So that's why I have multiple projects. I used to be a monogamous stitcher, and for those of you who are, more power to you, because that's how I used to stitch, but then I lost my bug for many, many years, and now, for me, there's just too many things out there I want to stitch on, and if I do one at a time, I'm never going to get to stitch on all of them, so I may not finish any, I may not finish most. I'm okay with that. I'm a process stitcher, so I love the process of stitching. I love seeing it come to life as I work on it, so if I don't finish them, I'm okay with that. Haul. I only have one thing, y'all. And it is my fabric of the month from Grace Notes Fabrics. It is Mojito Smoothie. And it is a light green. This is showing more gray. Let me see if I can put it up against my whiteboard. That's a little bit closer. But it's absolutely beautiful. This is the neutral. I alternate between the neutral and the color each month. And all of their neutrals are named for drinks, and all of their colors are named for musical terms. So it makes it easy for me to remember if I got the neutral or the color that month. And I get 40 count linen. So I can see stuff going on this. So that's it. So life. What have I been up to? 2 weeks ago, I told y'all we had a visit to 2 different colleges for my child who runs. It was her 4th and 5th visits, and she made a commitment last weekend. She committed to Clemson University to run track and cross country. That's my alma mater, so I'm very excited. My husband and I both went to Clemson, but he asked her many, many times before she committed and right after she committed if she was sure that she was making that decision for her and not just because he and I had gone there. And she fell in love with the campus. She fell in love with the coaches. She fell in love with the other girls on the team. I could just tell the whole weekend she was so happy and just beaming the whole time. So yes, that was the right decision for her. National Signing Day starts in November. They can't sign to officially commit. She's verbally committed, but she hasn't officially in writing committed. And she can't do that until November. So we'll be doing that sometime in November and having a big get-together and celebration for that because it's very exciting. Clemson has been her dream school for many, many years. And 2 or 3 years ago, people would ask her, do you want to run for Clemson? And she would say, I'm not fast enough, and I have to drop some minutes off my time. Well, she did. She worked really hard so that she could do this and get where she is. So I'm really proud of her. My youngest has been busy with soccer. Last weekend, she had a soccer tournament. And in the last game, she got run into by another player and had to get checked out for a concussion. She does not have a concussion, did not have a concussion. The trainer just said, wanted her to not do any sports until she had no headache, so she sat out all week from practicing and then got to play again 2 games yesterday. So, like I said, I was at the soccer field and getting some stitching in, so she has games next weekend. We have the city championship for cross country. There goes Buster. I'll let him out in just a second. She has a city championship for cross country on Tuesday that my runner is not allowed to run in because she's nursing a small injury. Hold on just a moment. Let me let him out. Okay, I was saying that she has a small injury, and the city championship, it's just the 3 local high schools that are competing. It's not a big deal. The week after that is the region meet, and then state qualifier and state. And the trainer, the coach, myself, and her all have decided that region, state qualifier, and state are much more important than the small little city meet. So she'll miss it. She'll go to it. She just won't be able to run. I don't know if I'll go to it since she's not running, but I might. We'll see. If I do, I'll probably bring stitching because I won't be up cheering or anything. I'll cheer for the people as they go by, but it's not the same when it's not your kid. So, y'all, I hope you all have a great couple of weeks. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep stitching. Bye.